Hi, my name's Milena,
And I'm Anna.
and this is our TED Talk about food insecurity and malnutrition.
37.8 million children affected are in low-income families where the pay is $2.80 per person per day, and they barely have any food to eat.
35 billion people in just the United States suffer from food insecurity, the availability of food and the ability to access it. And from one being food insecure, you can just imagine what could happen.
Here you can see our infographic with all the statistics you need to know about malnutrition. We decided to make our project on malnutrition and food insecurity because it's a worldwide problem that needs to be solved and more people need to be educated on it.
We created many outlets for education on this heartbreaking topic. We created an Instagram account with many posts of facts and research.
We posted everything from facts about malnutrition to ways to donate and organizations around the country. We also created a TikTok account with the videos of our donations.
Let's get down to business. Give you one more night, one more.
So let's talk about malnutrition, a condition that develops when the body is deprived of the nutrients it needs to maintain healthy organ and tissue function.
There are two types of malnutrition, overnourishment and undernourishment.
There are only two food options for those with the limited budget on food.
One is to try to buy healthy organic food, which is on the more expensive side and it limits the amount of food they can eat daily, and day by day their bodies become thinner and weaker.
The other option is to eat junk food.
Junk food is no way good for you and it's just fatty and unhealthy, and the only pro to junk food is that it's cheap and tasty.
Having junk food as your daily diet will lead to overnourishment and obesity, causing many health complications.
We interviewed our peers to know how people are educated on this topic.
Hi, so I really only know the basics of malnutrition. Like, I'm aware that many lower class countries struggle with proper food distribution, and that leads to a lot of malnutrition in its citizens.
Hi, my name is Alex. What I know about malnutrition is I don't really know a lot, but I do know as a definition is basically if you aren't receiving the nutrients you need for your body to maintain homeostasis and a healthy state so that you can do all your body functions.
Well, I know a little bit. I know it's when somebody's not nourished enough or doesn't have the proper food for their body that their body needs.
Okay, so I don't really know much about malnutrition.
I've only received the very basics of malnutrition in my past classes. I've taken 2 health classes, and we spent a unit on it in my AP Human Geography class.
I have had education on malnutrition both in the 2 health classes I took and in AP Human Geo when we looked at in less developed countries in stage 1 and stage 2 who have malnutrition due to the fact that people just can't afford food or there's just poverty.
I did, in fact, in 7th grade, a little bit, not much. It was a whole unit, so we just discussed nutrition in general and how much you should eat, but I don't think it went over malnutrition, the topic itself.
I think that the only time that I received any education on it was during nursing class last year when we were doing projects.
I feel like you can't solve malnutrition with a snap, so you have to work towards it, and I feel like anyone can. You can donate cans of food to a food distribution center, and you can donate money to charities specifically focusing on it.
I think when it comes to malnutrition, whether it's as an eating disorder where somebody has anorexia or as if an economic reason, such as in less developed countries, I think anybody can help out with either counseling when it's an eating disorder by reaching out a hand if you notice your friend has it, or if it's in the case of a less developed country, or if somebody just doesn't have the money to feed themselves, helping them either get back on their feet so that they can afford food, or donating food in the meantime is very helpful.
Well, one way I think is we have proper access to food. Many people are malnourished because they don't have the proper access to food everywhere. And another reason is because people are trying to fit in with society, so they'll just not eat sometimes.
Ways that everybody can contribute into helping people dealing with this problem is just by being as supportive as possible, and I guess educating themselves on why this issue is so important and why it's such a struggle for people who are in this position.
I have known people who have struggled from malnutrition. I've known multiple people who have struggled from anorexia, and the lack of nutrients that they received made them very, very sick. And it's obviously an issue that we all have to work towards.
I personally don't really know anyone who has struggled with malnutrition, whether it was of economic reasons or if they had an eating disorder. And but I do know it's not a way of life.
I do know that there are some people who don't eat what they're supposed to, and overnourished, yes, there are many people who eat a lot and have a lot of food.
Personally, I've seen a lot of people around my age group deal with overnutrition and undernutrition because of everything that we see on like social media and stuff. So
Are there any solutions for people who live this lifestyle of having a limit on food?
Yes, actually there are many solutions that have impacted those lives. Does the government do anything to help these people? 1.
If you are low income, you may be entitled to an EBT card or SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits provides a monthly benefits for those whose income doesn't provide enough money for food.
The benefits are delivered via electronic benefit card, which can be used to purchase food at food outlets.
Program benefits are federally funded and the core features are the same nationwide.
States administer the program and cover half the operational costs.
There are certain requirements for these benefits. Not everyone can qualify for them, and the recipient's income must be 130% below the federal poverty line.
One person in the family must have a job without quitting or reducing hours, etc.
If one is eligible for an EBT card, they will receive a monthly balance to purchase food items. The balance of the EBT card is based off the household size and the income of the household.
For the families who are not eligible for the EBT card and are struggling to feed their kids, a local solution to their food insecurity is CCSD's food distribution service.
They provide free school meals to children the ages of 2 to 18 until the 30th of June.
So what happens after that?
Well, there's a summer food program for those still in need.
At almost every school, CCSD distributes food to the kids still in need at parking lots, which makes a big difference in these children's lives.
You have probably heard of the online shopping site called Amazon. Well, now they are known for something other than that. They have started an organization called Amazon's Help for Hunger, which helps those that struggle with food insecurity, and they have started in March of 2020.
Their work food bank partners provide, prepare, and package food.
They have multiple locations all over the world, and they have helped provide over 12 million meals to those in need.
Feeding America is just another great example of a support system for those still in need. They're another nationwide nonprofit organization with food donations and drop-offs that have fed over 46 million people from their 200 food banks.
When we were looking for people and organizations to interview, we were looking for someone who started off with a small idea and turned their idea into a big reality.
This is how we found Mason McComb, a girl who just came together with a few people trying to make a change in the world and turned her idea into an organization called Eastside Mutual Aid. Here's what she said. Quote, "When we started EMA, it was a group of activists in the area that were trying to make connections. We were not an organization yet and were simply passing out clothing and toiletry bags to areas with high homeless populations. As we gained more support and social media presence, we gained more volunteers and donations. We now do grocery delivery, feeds, clothing drives, and toiletry bags. We are still very new, only started in January, and have many more plans for the future. My advice would be to start small and simple, whether it's food, toiletries, clothing, education, and then once you get comfortable, add another thing to do for folks.
With all these solutions, there are still yet millions of families living without food. Fortunately, you can make a change. The smallest amount going from your pocket can make the biggest difference in one's life. You can donate to charities or fundraiser sites just like the one Eastside Mutual Aid has.
You might ask, what are simple things I can do to help without donating? Well, you can start by trying your best not to waste food because, believe it or not, it plays a big factor in food insecurity. 103 million tons of food were wasted in just America. Imagine how many people that could have fed.
Food waste isn't only caused by the food we throw out at the end of the day after being satisfied. In some countries, pounds and pounds of food get wasted before even reaching the distribution phase. This needs to be cut down.
It's a part of our humanity to help around others who are struggling to live this lifestyle. Try to put yourself in the shoes of a person who could die any day from hunger. It's not such a satisfying thing to imagine.
Do the right thing and be a good person. Help yourself by helping others.
Anything you consider a small action will turn someone else's life around.
Choose humanity.
Make the right decision and cause even a little change in this world.